Hi everyone, Fiona McEntee, immigration attorney here. I'm the managing attorney at McEntee Law Group, and I'm here today to share with you some exciting news. I have just published an ebook, US Immigration Options for Startups, Accelerate Your American Dream. The book has been a long time coming, and I'm so excited to share that it is now available. And I'm here to answer some questions about the book today.
Hi Fiona, we are so excited about your ebook coming out today. So we just wanted to ask you a couple questions about the book and the process so people have a better idea of what this book is. So first of all, what made you decide to write this ebook?
So what made me decide to write the ebook? Well, I have been practicing as an immigration attorney for over 15 years. And during that time, I have advised thousands of startup founders about their immigration options. You know, I have been answering a lot of the same questions over and over again. And so it kind of just hit me that a lot of people who are either, you know, have an idea for a startup in the US, or they're here or they're abroad and want to bring their startup to the US, like a lot of people have the same kind of questions. And I just thought, it would be great if I could just put all the answers to these questions together in a comprehensive resource and make it available for people. I felt like it would help me when I'm talking to them about their immigration options if they had some background on some of the concepts that we discussed during our consult. And so that was really kind of the motivation, was to create like an accessible guide or just like a one centralized place where people could go to do some research about US immigration options for immigrant founders.
And then who is this ebook for? Who should read this book?
So the ebook is really for anybody who either has a startup in the US and is an immigrant already. So if you have already created your startup and are thinking about your next immigration move, this ebook is for you. If you're in the US as an employee or as a foreign student and are thinking about creating a startup, this ebook would also be for you. And then finally, if you're a founder of a business and you're based outside the US and you're thinking that you might want to expand into the US, this would also be a good book for you to read. So I would say anybody who is an immigrant and is thinking about either starting or growing their business in the US, this book is for them.
We know that it's about immigration options for startups, but what's inside the book? What can we expect? What's it about? What kind of questions do you answer?
So in terms of like how the book is structured, I guess I start with talking about the current US immigration system and why startup immigration is so important to the US. You know, I talk about this a lot, and so I give some great stats to show why we really need immigration options for startup founders. So that's how the book starts out, and then I get into two separate sets of 10 questions. The first set is, 10 questions that I commonly get asked from immigrant founders. So everything from, what is considered work in the US? Can my startup sponsor my H-1B visa? Is the O-1 visa hard to get? Those types of questions. And then the next set of 10 questions is like 10 questions you should be asking about your immigration pathway. And so kind of questions that I think are important, like maybe how long is the process going to take? Are you able to premium process or expedite the process? How do I go about finding an immigration attorney? What questions should I ask my attorney? These are the types of things that I think people should be asking. So I had a list of those. And then I also listed some of the advocacy that I've been doing with so many stakeholders in this that I feel like would be good resources for people in terms of op-eds and, testimony that I submitted for a congressional hearing, those types of things, just to give some background on my experience in this field and kind of give further, support and kind of explain further why I decided to write this book.
What is something that you hope people will gain from this book?
So what do I hope people will gain from the book? I mean, look, the immigration system is daunting, it is complex, it is scary. And I really think that it doesn't need to be that way. And so I'm really hoping that I can empower people with information on this very complicated immigration system. I also want people to be proactive and be their own advocates in relation to their immigration kind of future. So the sooner you have this information, I think the earlier, you're going to be able to kind of make some of these decisions about, is this work? Is what I'm doing work? And if so, should I get a work authorization as an international student? The sooner you are aware of kind of where these parameters are drawn, then you can empower yourself and you can make some decisions proactively. And so that's what I really want this to be. I want this to be an accessible resource for people, that they can, kind of go to one place and get answers to some of these important questions, as opposed to having to kind of scour the internet and all different blogs and lots of different like fragmented resources. I want to make this as easy as possible for people, and I wanted to put essentially the knowledge that I have gained in my 15 plus years of practice. I wanted to put this in a easy to read, hopefully easy to consume guide, and just, try to help as many immigrant founders as possible, because this is, we are better in the US for having immigrant founders here. And I want to encourage and empower as many current and future immigrant founders as possible.
So you said that the immigration system is complex and sometimes daunting. So it's probably true that people will have some misconceptions about startup immigration. What's one misconception people have about startup immigration that you hope this book clarifies?
What a great question. So yes, I think there are a lot of misconceptions in relation to startup immigration. Like, some of them are maybe like specific. I think that sometimes there's a myth that startups cannot sponsor H-1B visas. I'm here to dispel that myth and say that is a myth. It is possible for a startup to sponsor a H-1B visa, even for its founder. However, there are some additional considerations and some additional hurdles to kind of jump over. So that's one myth. I think maybe just educating people about the outdated immigration system and kind of having that in mind when looking at the immigration system we have. And then I want to educate about a new immigration option that was introduced really by the Biden administration. It was originally brought in by Obama, was then put on pause by the Trump administration, and now it's back on. So this is International Entrepreneur Parole Program. This could be a great option for people. And I just wanted to educate them about this as an option as well. And yeah, so lots of hopefully great, kind of myth busting in there, and also just a lot of education.
What was the hardest part about writing this book?
Oh my gosh, the hardest part about writing the book, well, naively, I thought this was going to be a white paper that I would whip up in, a week or so, was my original plan. And I think the hardest part was really realizing that if I wanted to do this right, if I wanted to do this, I needed to do it right. And I needed to really dedicate some serious time and care to this book, because I want this to really be helpful for people. And in order for it to serve in kind of that way, it really took time. And I think it just took a lot longer than I was originally anticipating. And then, other types of hurdles, the design of like an ebook, it's not something any of us had ever done. So trying to navigate that was a little challenging. But we got there, and yes, we're finally here. So there's been a lot of challenges over the course of the writing, the editing, the design and styling. But it's here, and it will all be worth it. If I can even help one person, all of that will be worth it.
What was your favorite part about the writing process?
Oh my gosh, favorite part about writing. I love writing anyway. As an immigration attorney, a lot of times we are writing, pretty extensively throughout the day. And I think that getting to like really sit down and share some of what I've learned really over the past 15 years, that's been my favorite part. I think just kind of sitting back and taking stock of all the things that we have done. And all just some proud moments in my career thus far. There are a lot more to come. Hopefully at some point we will be able to have a startup visa passed as a law. That would be just a massive achievement for the country that we will all celebrate if and when that happens. I'm going to say when, because I'm very optimistic that that will happen, hopefully in the near future. But I think my favorite part was just kind of just thinking back over the past 15 years and all the people that I've been so fortunate to have worked with and seen their success, you know, firsthand, and really knowing that this guide is going to help so many more future founders. And, you know, just kind of, I'm inspired by that, knowing that all the time, you know, that we've all taken to put this together is going to be really impactful. And so it's finally here in the world, and I am just so excited to share it and to get feedback as well from readers.
Okay, $1 million question. You've written a children's book. Now you've written an immigration book. Do you think you will write another book? If so, what's it going to be about?
Yes, I think I will write another book. Who knows what book number 3 is going to be about. It is probably going to be something to do with immigrant founders, and maybe, you know, just the journey of an immigrant founder from the business side as well, from like raising venture capital and like navigating that system, and kind of just, you know, in addition to the immigration challenges as well. I don't know, I just thought of this now. Who knows if that will ever turn into something, but in the meantime, I know I'm going to be writing tons of more articles and op-eds. I just had one published in Cranes, Chicago, with some other immigration attorneys, one from the UK and 2 immigration attorneys from Canada, talking about my favorite topic, which is startup immigration. So while we're waiting for book number 3, I'm sure we will be sharing some other pieces, articles, things like that I will write between now and then.
Awesome. We can't wait to read them. For now, can you let people know where to find your new ebook? Where can they get it?
Yes, definitely. So at the moment, it is available exclusively on Amazon. It is, if you search for US immigration options for startups, accelerate your American dream. That's the full title. I think though, if you just search US immigration options for startups, it should come up. It is a digital book at the moment, but we're hopefully in the future going to be turning it into an actual physical book as well. So stay tuned for that. We will have a bit more work to do until, you know, to get the formatting done for the actual physical book, but that's something that's coming in the future. But for now, you can fully access it and read it online. And I just hope that you find it as rewarding as we did creating this book.